Okay, my name's Rob Kincaid. I'm with the Arctic Cat Backcountry team. I've been riding snowmobiles in the backcountry for 20 years. My involvement with Arctic Cat is with engineering, backcountry, and I also am a hill climb racer. Part of my life, it's always been, I live in the West, and part of my average day is get my snowmobile clothes on and go and ride, and I spend probably 300 days a year in the backcountry, whether it's on horses, snowmobiles, motorbikes, pedal bikes. I just love being in the mountains, so I'm always kind of taking it to the limit and the extremes in the backcountry. Mother Nature is a dirty thing, and in the West, storm systems come in pretty quick, so you got to be prepared all the time. And I think a lot of it, you know, being a skilled woodsman and a hunter and a trapper and all the other things I do in life kind of go hand in hand with the backcountry, so I have a real respect for the backcountry. And you know, it's common sense and not getting too excited. I mean, it's kind of like bighorn sheep can winter at 10,000 feet because they don't freak out. They're just real calm, and that's the best thing to do when you're in a sticky situation, is just to be calm and, you know, take control of the situation, not panic and do something stupid. I've got a 3-step system that I carry on all my backcountry sleds. Since I've got so many sleds, it's pretty easy to transfer this, but I use a handlebar bag, and I use a tunnel bag, and my backpack. Well, my handlebar bag is the easiest to access when I'm riding my snowmobile. So when I'm riding my sled, I keep these things kind of close because I like to run over quite a few trees. So I always keep a little handsaw right here on me in my handlebar bag, so that if I'm stuck, I can get in here quick without having to take my pack off. I can just get in, grab my saw. And I like this little Gerber folding saw. I mean, you can see it's been well used, and it seems to hold up really good. It's one of the best ones I've found. I've broke a lot of them, and this one seems to work the best. And 4 to 6 inch trees, it just saws them down really quick, and you can get going. And there's a lot of circumstances where you're coming down a hill and you slide into a tree, and if you don't have a saw, you're in big trouble. So the other saw that I like to use is this little fold saw, and this is an Arctic Cat saw, and I'm sure there's other companies that make them. I know Mortar Fist and some of the other companies use them. But if you're by yourself in the backcountry and you've got a big tree, like a 10 or 12 inch tree, this thing actually will saw through it. My tunnel bag is more of the things that I might use in a pinch. So what I've got in my tunnel bag is I usually keep my tools in here, and my water, my drinks. I like to carry a piece of hose. Then I've got duct tape, and it's kind of the fix-it-all. I mean, from everything from frostbite on your nose, you can cover your face if it's really cold. I like to carry duct tape. I've always got an extra set of gloves, and I keep these in the back, and I put them in a waterproof bag, in a Ziploc gallon bag, because moisture gets in and they could get wet, so this keeps them dry. And I like to have them easy access, because when your hands are cold, it's hard to open a zipper and it's hard to dig into your pack, and so I always carry a pair of dry gloves. I also carry an extra belt, which about everybody does. I like to have a Powerade because it's got a little bit of sugar and a little bit of pick-me-up, and I always drink this first because I can save my water bottle and for fluids or anything else. Never throw this away. It comes in a lot of uses. If you have to spend the night, it works as a cup. You can put fluid in it, gas, oil. And then I have an aluminum water bottle that I always keep full. And I like to use an aluminum one because if you're out there spending the night, a plastic water bottle you cannot warm water with or melt snow. But if it's an aluminum one, you can take your lid off, and the bigger lid, the better, so you can pack snow in there, and you set it by the fire, and it actually will get heat to help melt your snow. So an aluminum bottle works a lot better than a plastic bottle, and they're really lightweight. Then I've got about a 30-foot section of rope, and this stuff right here will save your life. If you're stuck in a bad situation where you're going to roll your sled, you can tie it to your ski, tie it to a tree, flip your sled without it rolling down the mountain. You can haul out other snowmobiles. You can build yourself a shelter. I mean, rope, there's just not enough uses for it. Then I always have some zip ties on me, and the longer the better, because you can always cut them off. But if you get a hole in your belly pan with a Leatherman and some zip ties, you can stitch your snowmobile back together. You can tie things to your backpack. Zip ties just work for a million different things. And then I've got always carry some baling wire. Like this has saved my life 100 times, whether it's a bent A-arm and trying to tie a ski on the front of the snowmobile or anything. There's like 1,000 uses for a little piece of baling wire. And then I've just got random parachute cord, and I use this to tie sticks between my skis to get my sleds home, to tie the skis back on. I've had to drill holes in skis and tie them to the spindle, and it just works for 1,000 uses. So I like to keep the weight, most of the weight, heavy stuff on the back. First of all, I really prefer the ABS backpack. I've wore several different backpacks, and I like this pack the best because it's got two bags that come out to the side and it doesn't pinch your neck like a lot of backpacks. And I really like the way this backpack fits. It's really slim and it's made especially for snowmobilers. What I usually carry in my pack is I got my avalanche beacon here, so it's always with me and I never leave it at home. So I always put this on, you know, before I start my ride. Then I've got my shovel and my probes, which are on the exterior part of my backpack. And something that I can recommend for a lot of people that are just getting started is to try to tether this stuff to your pack, because when you're going through the trees and stuff, you know, limbs will grab this and you'll lose your handle. So you should always tether it to your pack, so if it does come out, it's still dangling. I've got a few other things that I keep in my backpack, and number one is extra eye protection. New set of goggles is just awesome to have. Your goggles are going to get wet. Then I've got a small video camera, and I keep my cell phone in here for video. Just a small Sony camera, real small, lightweight for shots, so I don't miss anything. And then I just use my iPhone for short videos and pictures. Works really good. I like to keep them on my back in an insulated case because when it's cold out, the cold weather will suck your battery life down, so it's good to keep those warm and on your body. Then of course I use this little chamois cloth, which is the best one I've found. I can wipe my goggles with this several times through the day, and it does a really good job. It doesn't scratch the lenses, and it holds a lot of moisture. Then I use an old camera case just to keep things kind of organized, but I've got extra batteries in here for my beacon, extra batteries for my flashlight. I've got a multi-tool, and any multi-tool will work. And then I've got a windproof lighter. And what I found with the windproof lighter is it's really good because Arctic Cat's clutch weights have set screws and they have a little bit of Loctite on them. So I can use this lighter to heat up my weight screws if I need to, and also safety. So that's a few things that I keep here. And it's a good practice when you're in the backcountry. I always have a lot of fire starting stuff, and I keep it in a waterproof case because this stuff right here will save your life. What I do is I soak cotton balls in Vaseline, and they work really good for a fire starter. And then I've got just some normal fire starter, but you can also use some gas out of your snowmobile to start a fire, and it's a good safe practice to get into, to keep at least two things of fire starter on you. Always throw a lighter in your coat close to your body, and then have extras in your pack. And then I've got in here I keep an extra balaclava that's dry, so that on the ride out I'm not freezing to death. I've got an extra beanie. I got a beanie, and I keep my sunglasses up here so that I can, you know, sit around and visit. I can cool down for a minute. And the sun's bright at 8,000–10,000 feet, so I always have eye protection. I've got a headlamp, and I always wear this headlamp in the dark, and I got extra batteries for it. And then some of the things that I prefer, I've got some black electrical tape, comes in handy. Probably the biggest thing about nutrition and dehydration in the backcountry is, if you're in the backcountry, you got to remember to drink a lot of water and fluids because you get dehydrated really quick. It's cold out, you forget to drink, so it's very important to drink. And what I found out for the best protein for me for my day rides is I always have 2 tram bars, and these are made by Kate's Real Food, and it's one of the best granola bars that I've ever found. It stays soft when it's cold. It's really good. There's 300 calories in one of these, and it weighs like 3 grams. So they're really light, and it's like a meal in this bar. And I carry one so that I can eat it, and I always carry an extra one just in case I have to spend the night. And I prefer almonds, and I like these toasted coconut almonds, but it's really good protein and it's lightweight. And then also I carry these stingers, and they're kind of a energy boost, kind of in case somebody's hurt or something. They give you quick energy, and they'll kind of get you home if you're dehydrated and run down. And then I always carry a bunch of pills with me, with some ibuprofen 800s and some Aleve, and try to, I throw 6 or 10 different pills in here just in case somebody gets injured. And then the next thing, I guess, and these are 2 things that I found out to be real key, is we always carry a one-way or two-way radio with us. And I have my buddy, I always tell my wife that I'm on number 3, so if I get in trouble, I can turn this on at certain times on the hour. I always tell somebody to try me at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and that way I can turn on my radio and try to get a hold of search and rescue, and always tell them what station I'm on. And then the other thing that I found to save people's lives, and I've been involved with it, is this spot system. So these 2 things right here are a key piece of equipment. When you're in the backcountry, there's usually people at the local search and rescue, or people like myself that are in the backcountry all the time, that are real experienced in the backcountry. So a lot of people panic and they leave their snowmobile and they start walking and they get hypothermia and they get dehydration. The best thing to do is just stay with your snowmobile, build a fire, and always let somebody know where you're going. I mean, tell them what your plan is for the day and where your destination is. And if you have those key pieces of information, a local will be able to find you really quick. And just remember to stay by your snowmobile. Don't try to wander out through the woods. You never know when a storm's going to come, and you're better off to build a fire and just stay with your stuff and try to stay hydrated. Keep a fire going. Try not to fall asleep. I mean, you might be uncomfortable, but it might save your life.